All right, y'all. What is up, fam? This is the Collectin and Connectin podcast. Let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room real quick. So don't be afraid. Anyway, guys. No, those guys are on vacation. Happy Easter. Shout out King Brett getting married, honeymoon. Big things going on in their lives. And we were holding it down for them in the meantime. Treat kind of coming home today, man. Like long lost Treaticus. You've been out doing big things in the real world. Speaking of King Brett doing big things in the real world, Treat, you've been doing some couple of things. I don't know if there's any hints going on. I mean, we know you're a Celtics fan, but man, like before we get into that, like let me just ask how are y'all doing? How is everybody doing today?
Man, I'm good. I couldn't be better. My guy Premium SD had my back for the last 6 months of this campaign, and it really is neat to see how several years ago we didn't even know each other, right? This is the first time we're interacting this way, but man, I mean we're actually friends, We have friends all over the world, and we're helping each other out with stuff we never dreamed when we started this wild ride with Collectin and Connectin.
It's a beautiful thing, man. And I see the banner in the background. That one says for mayor. I think it's officially time to change that artwork and get you one that says treat the mayor.
The mayor.
Congratulations, my friend.
Hey man, thanks. It's a weird world, politics, right? I mean, it's such a different experience. It's funny. Tork and I were talking beforehand. When I would interact with you guys when I could, he would ask me questions kind of on the side, and I was like, man, this dude has run us some campaigns or something, because he's asking questions that nobody else is asking. That you wouldn't even know about unless you had run a campaign, because I was learning on the fly.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to find out that our guy Tork is also a political activist. Is that fair?
It's fair. Although I will say that after seeing how the proverbial sausage is made, I'm a little jaded. I believe more on the local level versus on the national level. I've done a little bit of both. And when I saw what you were doing, it kind of got the juices flowing again. And then I saw that Premium was going to help you with the graphics, which made me very excited, because I'm not inclined in that way. I'm that guy that organizes the field campaign, kind of sets the strategy, and we go knock on doors and we get out the message, which is what one of the things. Like election night, I was on the Saline County website, like looking at the voting numbers, and I saw the early voting numbers were just, I mean, that's where you really seem to do your work. And I think people don't really, if you haven't participated in a campaign or volunteered or whatever, I don't think not that there's not an appreciation for the work that's being done, but it's a grind. And I mean, you really have to be out there, one, believing in your message and selling that message. And people have to believe that message as well. That's what those early voting numbers show to me, because you absolutely wiped the floor with them. I think voting day was kind of close. I mean, you still had the edge there, but early voting seemed to be where you got the edge.
Yeah, and everybody was telling me that night with that lead that, I had won. I just was like, you gotta be kidding me. Most of the voters are coming out on election day. But especially where we are in Central Arkansas, people early vote, man. A lot of people early vote. And that was actually, man, our strategy from the very beginning, is we identified a group of voters that we felt like were going to show up to the polls. And that was one of the things, like, Premium, you helped me so much with giving this broad vision and casting this broad net. But then when you find out that there's really just a very few people actually vote, like there's just not a lot of people that vote of all the registered voters. So there's kind of this.
What sort of numbers? What sort of percentages? What sort of numbers are you talking about?
Oh, it was extremely low. I can't remember, maybe 15% or less.
It's probably less in some areas too. It's actually, like, for me, looking at numbers just in turnout, like throughout my history of doing that, it's really frustrating because you realize, man, if people would just show up and vote, you could really affect change. And I mean, I'm not telling people to vote one way or the other, but just show up and make sure your representatives know that you're going to show up and hold them accountable. And unfortunately, that's, I think, part of the process is like they know that the turnout's going to be low, but that's why it's even more important to get to those people who you know are going to get to the polls and make sure they know what you're about. Speaking of which, Tree, what was your core message? Like, if you had to simplify it down to one thing, like what was your elevator pitch?
Yeah. Well, we had some sweet hoodies and T-shirts designed by our guy. Treat yourself to a mayor you can trust.
Love it. I love it. Was that your idea, Premium?
Oh, baby, that's just too good. It's just too good.
And that was your doing, Premium?
Oh yeah. I don't even remember where that came from. I think it was one of the what I found in this world when you're designing stuff and making stuff and coming up with stuff, if you're in the right mindset, things just start flowing.
Yeah.
And it becomes so easy. But if you're in the wrong mindset, for me, the morning is the wrong mindset. I can never get anything done in the morning. But when the sun starts going down, I turn into some sort of like freak werewolf and things just start flowing. And I mean, it's right in the name, you got to treat yourself, baby.
It's funny because, I would throw something like here, hey, I'm thinking that, and then the stuff he would come back was so much better than anything I was thinking. Right. And that's what you're hoping you do with this kind of relationship, that there's these ideas and I think, for me, I'm not a big control. Like I don't have exactly a specific, I've got these broad ideas, but then when it comes back, you go, oh yeah, that's it. Like that's the message that we want to put out.
That's great leadership, man. Well, is just saying, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm feeling. Here's what I'm seeing somewhere in my brain. And then from my perspective, from anyone that's creating content or doing any sort of generation of anything really, you then said, just go cook and let me know what you come up with. And that's the most empowering situation. And if you've got some skills behind you, you can really make some magic in that area because what you put out is gonna get a look and it's gonna be trusted. And that's really good. So it's a great vibe, and you were really great that way, Treat, for sure.
Well, man, I hope you had fun. And you cut me a sweet friendship deal. I owe you for life, man, for sure. That was, and I had so many compliments. I love this town, obviously, but it's a small suburb of Little Rock, and the compliments I got were, hey, you ran a professional looking campaign. Like it was clean from start to finish. That's all because of you, bro. And I had a local group, D&T Media, the guys there, Justin Tackett, Steve Danaway, other guys over there, Carson Whaley. Man, these guys just jumped in and supported me and created these great videos.
Those were great.
It was, I was just amazed at how much help. And another thing that came out of nowhere is I had a girl I went to high school with and college. Her and her husband own a printing company. And so they did all my signs and all this stuff for cost. So there was just so many people that helped me run a campaign that looked a lot more expensive than it really was. That was part of the big deal. Is I was like, I'm going to raise some money. I can't raise. My opponent had 5 times, maybe 6 times the money I did.
Wow.
But my campaign looked more professional, I thought, and it was because of people just coming out of the woodwork to help.
Probably acting more professional too.
Do what?
Probably acting more professional too. Just throwing that out there. But
hey, that's a good thing about winning. I can be positive. Take the
high road.
Yes,
well, look, nobody in the CNC world was surprised when you came home with the victory, because you've been our mayor for a very
you're very kind. But listen, it's the ups and downs of that stuff. I mean, the emotional taxing, like, there were days I'm like, man, I'm just, because especially when I look at anything on social media, there's people bashing me, lying about me. And I realized at some point in this deal, I had to take this campaign person, right? Chris Treat running for mayor, and put it over here. That's what they're like. They don't know me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about this other thing that's out there. I've never had a face-to-face conversation with these people. If they sit down and talk to me, they wouldn't be saying the stuff about me they're saying online, right? So I had to put that over there and detach from it. Like, that's the person running for office. It's not me. And that helped. But man, early on, it was definitely an emotional shock. Just having people talk, crap about you.
I can only imagine. So, but after the inevitable, after the victory happened, so what were the first? I guess it's been a handful of weeks. What were the first couple weeks like after everything went down?
So can we bring? I see we got a surprise guest here, Tork. Do we bring him on before I answer this?
Either or, man. I'm actually kind of intrigued to hear your answer. I wanted to know. I was going to ask what you thought the most difficult part of the whole campaign was, but I think you answered that with the separating the the negative social media stuff. Because hell no. If anybody sits down and talks to Treat for 2 seconds, as Premium said, I mean, like, you've been our mayor for a while. That we're not trying to be corny when we say that. Like, that's legit the way it is.
Well, you guys are kind. Listen, first 2 weeks have been phenomenal. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it, because it really is a job where you're just serving people, man. You're just trying to help people. Like, it's that simple. But I gave the day I got sworn in, I had an opportunity to it was a packed courtroom, which blew my mind. Like, I did not expect this thing, So it's packed with people from all over the community, city councils there, other elected officials around the county. And I was able to kind of cast a vision and talk about what this is about. And so I told this story. You guys know my dad was a basketball coach. And I told this story about my senior year. We were playing our rival team. And man, I was just, first half, I was on fire. Just, it was one of those days, the games where it's like the bucket. I mean, it didn't matter. I could just throw it over. I mean, I just couldn't miss. And so I'm starting to calculate in my head, like, I think I'm close to 20 points in the first half. Now, and that's a big deal for us, because back then you didn't shoot the ball. Like, it was 10 passes before you even thought about shooting. And then no shot clock anyway. So I'm thinking about this, and so I decided to go check the scoreboard, or the scorebook, to see if I got 20 points. And my dad, I was trying to do it without my dad noticing, but he caught me. And he didn't have to say anything. He just gave me that look, and I knew. I was like, damn, all right. And so I didn't play it much. And when I did play second half, he didn't call my number. And he didn't have to say anything, because I knew I made it about me, not we, right? Mm-hmm. That was. And so that's kind of what and you can see that if you want to watch that speech, it's on our city YouTube channel. So I just talked about what we over me looks like for the city of Bryant. And I think it resonated. I think, a lot of people that opposed me, which is fine. That's part of it, right? It's politics. Hopefully they got a little bit of glimpse of what I'm about, that this has got to be about more than me. And so anyway, that's kind of why I've loved the first 2 weeks. I've got a lot of phone calls from people that need help with stuff.
What's one compliment that stands out that somebody gave you, that just not run of the mill, just something that stands out, something different? Like, what's your favorite thing that somebody said to you during the campaign?
I called a lady, a senior citizen, talking about what you were saying, doing the work, right? Knocking on doors, making the phone calls. And she said to me that she had never had a candidate call her and have a conversation with her. That meant a lot to me. She said, "You've earned my vote. I've never had a political candidate in all my life." She's a very active voter. Call me uh, and give me their phone number. So that to me, that meant everything. Like, okay,
personal touch. That's great.
Yeah,
that's
it.
Great memory.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
It's all, I mean, the signs, you mentioned the friend discounts. I mean, that's really all a testament to you and how much, everybody loves and respects you. And once again, not to keep, hammering the same point, but to Premium's point again, I mean, it's not surprising to us that message resonated with, especially everybody locally. Just curious to see how this plays out. And do you have any plans after this? I mean, are we going for re-election? I mean, or are we just focusing on the job at hand right now?
I mean, and seriously, just completely honest. If the leadership and the people in this community get behind me and we get a lot of stuff accomplished in the next 2.5 years, of course I'll run again. But if they're not, I'll get out of the way. Let somebody that can move the city forward. Like it's
respect.
This is about, and again, this is where I grew up. So I know the people who came before me, right? They invested in this town. It didn't happen by accident, right? The Dean Boswells, the Ed Loves, people who made a sacrifice to make this a great place to live. Joyce Boswell's another one. She basically helped build our park system, starting back in, before I even lived here. And so for me, it's about making sure that we honor their legacy and do right by them and right by the people that come after us. So if somebody can do a better job than me, go get it.
Well said. Well said. Well, do we
got
our guest backstage? You want to let him in?
Is Joyce the guest?
No, listen, she'd be great. She'd be great.
Who we got? Who's
Let's see this guy. There he is.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
Hey, congratulations, Treat. Very excited for you. Well deserved.
Thanks, man. I've really enjoyed the Friday fast break stuff with you and Tork. You guys are killing it, and so it's been, I could just jump in and get a little taste of the C&C fam.
We're trying to keep the good vibes going with you out doing bigger and better things.
We're having a blast. Fast break's back today, though, isn't it?
It is.
Have you guys set a lineup yet?
I'm gonna set it on the show with you, man.
All right. See, this is where I'm out of the loop. I feel like it's crazy. 6 months ago, I announced I'm running for mayor. I kind of had to take a little step back from Top Shot, and I'm just kind of lost. I'm trying to get back in there, and I don't really recognize what's going on. So what's happening with Top Shot?
Have you noticed the price of some of your rare moments have increased? Like
I have noticed that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that before I even sort of understood Fast Break, I wasn't one of the early users or anything. I just started seeing things going up. Like I was eyeing a Jared Allen, and the thing just doubled, and then I think the legendary doubled, and I said, "What happened? What's going on here? Did I miss something?"
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good way to introduce yourself to the community as a project. Is, hey, by the way, these things you've got are now a little bit more valuable because of this game we created. Yeah, but so it's been a different vibe.
How have you held on to that stuff, or is the market people buying and selling the rare stuff?
I think you do. I think there's a lot of movement on the rare stuff, especially like on the days when either during the slate or the day before or the day of the slate getting started, people start seeing it and they start preparing their lineups and stuff. But yeah, I mean, the movement is good. So it's a good opportunity if you don't love the moment you have. I mean, my collection is separated into two. There's the stuff that I love and I'm never going to get rid of. It doesn't really matter. And then the stuff that I've picked up in packs along the way and looking to find a new home for eventually to turn into stuff that goes into that first pile. But it's a good opportunity to move some of that stuff. Because it starts to get pretty liquid pretty fast and you don't necessarily have to do much undercutting to move it. So it's a good opportunity for that for sure.
So the stuff for you that's untouchable, is that mostly LeBron and Cleveland stuff? Or is
Yeah, I
it
got my Cavs leaderboard stuff. Got my LeBron stuff, and I've started just picking off, like, now that we have the benefit of a couple of series of hindsight, we can look back and be like, yeah, man, I actually really do want that Giannis finals block forever. Like, I really do. In the moment, you don't really know, and you don't really know how it compares to the other ones. He's got two more legendaries in that series. They've got lower mint counts, different prices. It's like, no, man, take all this out. I want the block. It's the one I want.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's allowed me to go back and start to pick off some items like that.
Nice. Okay, I like that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
It's definitely been a fun little wrinkle. It's made me think twice about selling some stuff. It's especially when you get to like that day 13, 14, and you've already used up your plays, because your legendaries you can play 4 times, right?
Okay.
And your rares twice. So, you know, I had a couple legendaries last year from the Rookie Revelation set. So it makes you like, hey, this Paolo's sitting there. I'm lucky to have him. Now I can use him, right? And I'm sitting there like, man, I really wish I had a Tatum legendary, like you Celtics collectors. He'd be a great play, right? But then also like Jared Allen, like I had his moment. I didn't love him, but man, he's a beast. And what you're seeing and what's been really cool this year is gravitating towards the better players, right? So it's not just like collecting, you know, your favorite player and these random bottlenecks. When we were first starting, you had the guy that's already overseas, but it's going to be his only moment for that team, and his price is $200 something, and you're like, I don't like this moment, right?
Yeah.
So he hit the last bucket of the second quarter or whatever the wheel was good for. So it was just kind of a random
wheel.
thing.
The wheel. By the way, I want to address something SDA just said. I'm mad for a second because I heard from so many people until fast break. So, well, it was fast break that started, and there was a lot of Jarrett Allen slander. Like, I don't like Jarrett Allen. He's not good. He's Jarrett Allen. Blah, blah, blah.
No.
Well, hold on. He's one of the nicest guys in the NBA. Okay, if not the nicest guy. And now all of a sudden, now he's winning fast break games. He's okay. No, and it's not just you,
Tork.
It's everybody.
See,
I'm not tolerating the Texas slander.
I love that you're always taking notes. Tork's always taking notes. You better recognize.
You're getting back to like my college days when we're sitting at the Notre Dame football games. It's like, but he's a nice guy. That's great.
Well, he's also a Texas guy, Tork. So let me wax around Jared Allen real quick, just because he's my favorite. Like, if you ask me my favorite player in the NBA right now, that's him.
You.
Nice.
And I think series 4, if I'm looking back on it, he was one of the only players who got a Top Shot 50 moment, but didn't get an MGLE moment. Because the MGLE moments, I think, went to Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley.
Because they can only do 3 for a team, right?
Right. So he's not in the top 90 of the players, because you didn't get an MGLE, 3 per team, but he is in the top 50. Why is it different? Because the players voted on the top 50. He wanted a guy that they step up against each and every day. They're looking for their 50 best players. He's not a guy that's getting headlines, but enough people said he's in there. So I think that's a good illustration of the guy is underappreciated, and he also is not the personality type that would even ever care about being underappreciated.
But you and I know Premium, because he is not like, if he could pick another job, like, he wouldn't be an NBA player. I mean, like, he's not. Basketball is truly just like he loves it because he's good at it and whatever. But I mean, like, his interests are elsewhere. Like, I mean, he is very much a right brain technical. You know, just that kind of dude. So, but yeah, man.
I will slightly disagree with you about that. I met him in Canberra, Australia last year. He came out for a basketball camp run by a guy named Cal Bruton, who's a legend of Australian basketball. American guy came over there, a legend of Australian basketball. Ended up fielding a team to come back over here and play against Magic Johnson. But anyway, he is basketball crazy. And he loves it. And this was a camp. This was a kids camp, high schoolers and below. And you could see him talking about it, the way he lit up. I mean, Of course, you have to be to get to that level, but
That's
he
awesome.
is, man. He's got it in his veins.
You know, my
That's
favorite
awesome.
thing about him was when he was getting recruited. Like he went to, it was a really small private school here in Austin called St. Stephen's, and they're like smallest class. I mean, maybe not even 200 students graduated in his graduating class, and he could have gone, to all the Link Academy, wherever.
Right.
Played on the national schedule. And he's like, no, I want to play with my friends that I grew up with, and that's what I want to do.
Awesome.
And then he went to UT and just did it his way. So I got a lot of respect for that. But
yeah, I gotta love that.
Well, I think that's what the beauty of fast break is, right? Like these guys that you guys have been you've been following them since college, right? The stats don't lie, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to perform in fast break, then you need the best players in the league on your roster and what you're collecting. And I think it's just natural when you look at this, and now you guys are making me contemplate getting a Jared Allen Lego. But it's making you
do it for the culture.
Centering this around basketball again.
Right.
It's not like when we first joined, how can I make the most amount of money? In all honesty, the money you're going to make is by getting the best players, right? And crafting the best roster. And that is so freaking fun now.
Well, you guys, seriously, I mean, I've yet to set a lineup because I think this started coming out right when I started running for mayor. So I'm completely out of the loop. So we'll got
help you
14,
today, Treat.
14 days. We have 14 days.
Yep.
It changes. It's sometimes 15 to.
And then at
17.
the end of that, what do you win? Or do
packs.
You win packs.
Maybe packs with Legos in them. So they have 3 different packs. If you hit 4 wins, that's like a common pack with 2 moments, and you've got a potential to get, a rare of like a 0.1% chance. Then it goes up from there. I think 6 wins is 6 moments, and then better chance for a rare. Now they put X amount of Legos in it for a certain amount of and so if there's 12 or 13 wins, and if you hit that, then you've got, depending on how many people hit that threshold, there you might get guaranteed a Lego.
Wow. Okay.
So they've stacked them. They're selling pretty well in the secondary too.
And that's one of the.
I wonder about that.
And that's one of the coolest things, as Tork was just saying. Like, say you win 4 games, you get a free pack. You could go sell that online for $2 now with the pack marketplace.
Nice.
Or you get 7, 8 wins, you got a better pack. You can sell that now. And if 12, 13, you can sell a pack. And it's just showing the advancements of the product and how it's all coming together. And, everyone asking last year, when is this stuff?
Yeah.
You can. And it was like, we could maybe do all this stuff with our moments, and it's finally coming together. And
now, is that a different app? The Fast Break app?
No,
it's in the app. It's in the Top Shot app.
It's in the Top Shot app. Yeah. See, man, I'm excited. I'm gonna jump in there and check this out.
You can tap that app, or you
tap
can go
that app.
Another thing that I want to shout out our friends at Floaty real quick, because I of course had been aware of them and knew them, but had never really kind of gotten into their product, just hadn't used it much. But now they've got the ability you can rent rares. So if you don't want to, and Banana Mac is all over this, right? She's already putting up her spare rares. You can rent them on Floaty for what comes out to like $2 or $3. And you can use that for Fast Break and then get it back. She makes a little bit of money on it, and you get your use on it. And also, when you start to get towards the end of your lineups, you start to running out of guys. You're like, all right, I don't have a huge collection. I like to keep it kind of tight. I don't have a Mikal Bridges moment. I just don't have one. And you can go on Floaty, and someone's got it up there for 35 cents.
Okay.
So you can just go in there. So you're not bound by the dollar. So all of a sudden they're getting a bunch of traffic, and maybe the fact that they now own 20 to 25% of all Top Shot transactions or whatever that was. Maybe that's related to the fact that they're making it so easy to dominate Fast Break.
Huh. Well, so I need to really look at my collection, because I probably got some Celtic Legos and other stuff people
you would crush it.
You would do very well, Treat. Be careful though, because Vinyls is pretty sneaky with his categories, man. Like, he's really he's done such a good job of balancing what number you have to hit in order. I mean, he's basically got me sweating through every single game throughout the night. and lasting all the way to the end. And you have a lot of people that are missing out by one, a lot of people that are winning by one, which I think speaks to just because you don't want it to be too easy. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
are we seeing some new blood coming in because of this game, or some folks come back?
Yeah, the numbers are up. I mean, if you look at Live Token, I think they had 300 something people join last week, and I'm sure every single one of them was a fresh account and no multi-accounters. But what it's doing, it reminds me of kind of when you first started making your silly videos, right?
Yeah.
The vibe just changed. Like, it's just fun. You go into the Badge County Discord, everyone's talking about Fast Break. You go in the CNC Discord, everyone's talking about it. You go online and the biggest fudders of Top Shot, you're looking at it today, they're putting out their stuff. Like, who's like, I think they're even highlighting collectors that are putting out great content. And you're just like, whoa, what? Like, the cultural change is super fun. But I've got a dip. I wanted to just say hi and congratulations, Treat.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
It's great to always see you. And this is
what time's the show today? The Friday Fast Break.
3:30 Eastern on Fridays, and Tork is the house DJ, gets the vibe going. We just like to have some fun, kick everyone's weekend off.
Sounds good.
But great to see you guys.
Hey, thanks, bro. Thanks for
awesome.
jumping on.
Congratulations.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
I got rules, man. Love
Is
SDA.
there a better dude? I mean, man, what a good guy.
Yeah, it's classic.
What a good guy. I mean, he's such a good friend, and always willing to work hard and do what it takes to help with the CNC. Good dude to have on our team for sure.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yes. So you guys are big into this Fast Break. I've got to dig into this and figure a little bit of that out.
I only done one slate, and I did two slates. One of them I just sort of half participated, and the last one I took it seriously and did well. And I got a one of those 13 win packs.
Nice.
Nice.
So that hooked me big time. I was just like, man, this is great. But I haven't been in a long. I feel like Tork's got a little bit more of a authority when it comes to that stuff. But Tork, can you tell us what your best reward pull was?
Yeah.
Look, I've got the 13 win pack once, and that was a couple iterations ago, and it was a Chris Paul rare that I pulled. But I mean, that's the thing, is that you have a guaranteed rare in those 12 or 13 win packs with like probably a 30 or 40% chance at a Lego, depending on how many people finish it. I think the coolest part about Fast Break to me is just exactly what SDA said, and just how we're all talking more about basketball now. It's, yes, are people concerned about their bags? Yes. Okay. I think that's always just going to be kind of the elephant in the room, but we're starting to move further and further away from that elephant, so to speak. And I love that about it, because to me, this is always a basketball platform. And
amen to that, bro.
And I found myself personally going back to, like I've almost challenged myself to like, I'm just going to use only commons and Fast Break. I'm just going to degen that way. I don't have a whole lot of Legos, but it can be done either way. But I found myself collecting stuff literally that I just love now. Like the Anthony Edwards block. Did you see that the other night?
Mm-hmm.
Where he hit his head on the rim?
Yeah, I didn't see that. No,
and so they it was a challenge reward. I didn't have any of the for the win deals, but I was like, I'm buying those 5 moments. I want that in my collection. And that's, to me, what Top Shot will always represent. The curation team continues to smash it as far as the work they're doing. They turned around a moment, that Zion Williamson dunk. They turned it around in like 2 or 3 days. And so they're really, those guys are on it.
I picked up that Derek White block in that Phoenix game, and apparently he tweeted out Top Shot this, and Top Shot said, okay.
Have you there's been a lot of players that I don't know, I don't know if there's nobody said anything about it. There's no comms that they've been asked to do this, but there have been a lot of players. Franz Wagner, I think, is this a Top Shot? Jalen Williams with a play of his, is this a Top Shot? So, but yeah, let's talk about that Derek White block. How the hell did he do that? Like that's not normal.
He's just got a sneaky instinct for it, man. Especially coming from behind, which usually ends up in a foul, right? But dude just has a knack for it. But but if we're going to talk about the Celtics for a minute, what in the heck is happening? We dropped 2 to the Hawks this week. Like we were up 30 in Atlanta, and then last night we lost to them at home.
Are y'all getting bored? Is that what's going on here?
If you're going to go through a cold streak, though, this is the right time to.
It's true. It's true. I don't know. I guess I've got that.
Yeah.
I still wonder, do we have the killer instinct enough to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and I'm not going to criticize them. We've been doing, we've been in the Eastern Conference Finals and the finals, right? So I love the fact that my team is getting farther and further into the playoffs. Your teams haven't, that's got to stink. But there is this thing out there about this Celtic squad, right? They just seem to, disconnect or fall asleep or just something.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a perspective when you look at someone like Jason Tatum. Yeah. Are we like in agreement? Is he the guy in the Celtics? Is he the number one guy?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Without a question.
LeBron said it in that podcast he did with JJ Redick recently. And he was like, okay, he's been to 4 conference finals or something in his career. And he's never gotten over the hump, but he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
And Cavs fans remember what life with LeBron was like. Getting close, but not getting there.
Right.
And he didn't win until he was 28.
That's true.
And then he started talking about those other guys, and it's all around that 27, 28, which is when it starts to all kind of come together.
Right.
So maybe this frustration is real.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something special at the end of it.
That's the right perspective. You're right. I guess it's just that these guys have been in the conference finals for so many years and so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, it's just going to be.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of my favorite, probably the best thing, and the reason why I think Top Shot specifically and digital collectibles generally are inevitable in this world. I mean, it is the thing that will be around forever, is because what they've done with these moments is they've straddled 2 of the best collectibles markets in the world. They've done trading cards where anyone can get them, and you can kind of play the game of scarcity and rarity, and specific game-used memorabilia from really memorable moments in fandom. So your first finals win, the Giannis block I was talking about, like the first finals win, whatever those moments are, most people are not able to access those specific pieces of memories that they have from their fandom. But the cards, while they're from that series, the photo would be from last year or some random game. You have no idea. So they're not connected to the actual thing itself. Whereas Top Shot has found a way to connect those 2 powerhouse institutional collectibles worlds into one. And you can play the game and have that special thing. And how cool is that? That's just one of the coolest things, where it's going to be. That's why I think it's going to be around for a really long time, because you can get people in that way also.
Yeah.
Appealing to those memories that they have.
And
I love that.
And wait until they really figure out how to token gate the aspect in the real world with everything that you have in your Dapper wallet in terms of real life experiences, memorabilia, tickets, etc. Because you have that Giannis block, because maybe you get into a raffle to win finals tickets at the Bucks. I mean, there's so many possibilities with it, and we're just are we still allowed to say we're early?
Yes.
Because we still really are. I mean, like I was talking to Treat a while ago about this Bitcoin stuff and what's going on with the new protocols, and we're not going to get into that, but we are legit. Like I have to remind myself, because it all moves so fast. Like when you're in the middle of it, it feels like it does, but really in the grand scheme of things, very, very early.
We're early in the product process, but we're late in the general process. I mean, things have becoming digitized for the last 20 years. Like, when did you get your first digital camera? When you were, was it 20 years ago?
Yep.
These things have been happening. When did we stop writing letters? Like 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago? Things have been being digitized forever. So while we're early in the process of digital collectibles and the blockchain being a thing, now that we're digitizing this already institutional concept of collectibles. That way, it just kind of came way later than you would have thought. And maybe it was the blockchain technology that was missing that needed to make it happen. But like, yeah, we're early, but who knows? It could be a really quick rise. We could be getting a big wave here, especially with the news out of like, did you guys follow the stuff about candy at all? I know I'm rambling about
No.
I feel like Roham is probably like the most important name in digital collectibles.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like another is sports digital collectibles. The other one that's important is Michael Rubin.
Okay.
Fanatics, right? So they originally owned part of Candy, and they sold it off. This was last year.
Okay.
And the headline was, Fanatics, Michael Rubin's out on NFTs. He doesn't like them. They're stupid, whatever.
Right.
But the stories seem to be way more intricate than that, because what he said was, we don't necessarily think a standalone NFT product is great. And by the way, we've just spent a ton of money and created these relationships with essentially every sports league in existence to run these sports cards collectibles. And they have NFT rights for all of those also. In the same way that there's Top Shot and there's Panini and NBA NFTs. They have rights to all that as well. And those start to kick in over the next 3-4 years. So if they're putting muscle behind it, and it's not like he's going to go away. Of course, they're going to look for it. There could be a huge wave coming in. All of a sudden, everyone that's buying a Panini pack of cards is getting the free NFT, something or other.
Yeah.
And there could be a huge wave coming in that just makes the whole pie that much bigger. People are going to. It's just a matter of time until the wall in the north breaks and they start marching down from the north.
I love it.
Like, because it happens in every other market.
Yeah.
Like, there's still a boutique photography market. If people like to do it the old-fashioned way, right? People still love. I get a birthday card from my mom every year in the mail. But there will always be that. But this world is inevitable. And it's just a matter of time before that wall breaks and everyone starts marching in, baby.
And to your point, to the fast break, you mentioned how many people are playing fast break if it's bringing in new people. I think there were about maybe 8,000 users active on fast break. Whether or not, just 7,000 or 8,000 people, and that's it. As Premium said, when the wall breaks, look out.
Look out! Love it, love it. Great time, guys. I mean, I feel updated, and now I'm ready to figure out my strategy. I might be just renting my stuff out right now. I love that idea.
Good strategy.
Yeah.
Good strategy.
As I learn the game. And will the game go into the playoffs too? Or are we okay? All right.
Do you have a big collection treat? Do you have like a lot of stuff sitting around, a lot of commons and a lot of
it's gotten that way in the last few months, but I used to not, right? But I haven't had the time to really look at what I got. I get a pack and so I've gotten a lot more commons lately.
So maybe you look to do a combo then, is you can play it with your commons,
right?
Whatever rares you got that you're going to hold on to, and just sort of see how the game goes.
Yeah,
and then rent out your big dogs and put some DAP back in the pocket.
Maybe win some money off this Celtics run to the championship.
Giddy up.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
You got a team out of Cleveland you got to run through first, though.
I know. They're scary. I ain't gonna lie. That is a hell of a squad, bro. Seriously, a hell of a squad. Long, man.
Yeah.
That front line.
Yeah.
Is not anything to mess around with for sure.
Nah, fun to watch, man. I'm hoping they come back with a little bit more confidence than they played with in last year's playoffs. And you're right. There could be a nice run in there. We'll have to see.
You never know. Good times, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
I enjoyed it.
Been a pleasure, fellas. Treat. Thanks for the info on. Congratulations on being mayor, man. Now I feel like we got to catch up with you and Premium. You guys rocked that. So proud of you guys. Mission accomplished, and
that's right.
Can't wait to see. Does this lead into a career for Premium SD? We'll have to in politics. We'll have to find out. I don't know.
That's right. That's right. Biden is on the phone. See you guys.
See ya.
Peace out, guys.
See you, Mr. Mayor.